Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back real quick. I'm gonna try and make this a quick one, but we got a lot to go over real quick. This is a late night, Sunday night, July 7th update for you all. We're gonna go through all the stuff that's happened since my last update, which was very recent. Um, we're gonna go through what things are currently looking like for Joe Biden, and I'm gonna give you a good recommendation for something to read if you're interested in more of this. We're going to get through all of this really quickly, so I'm going to go ahead and get this started right now. We're coming up on the DNC, as you can see, I put it right there. Okay, so this started coming out very, very soon after I posted my previous update. Um, News started coming out that Joe Biden was having a little bit of problems with donors. As you can see, he canceled a July fundraiser in Wisconsin. Um, that's rough for him. Obviously, if you're having trouble with donors, you can't get the money for your campaign. It later came out from the New York Times that there were other events, quote, on the chopping block from the New York Times in Philadelphia and Texas, that he was having trouble meeting the goals or the goals that were expected from the amount of people and the amount of money that they were going to raise. Um, Obviously, important stuff there for sure. Then we started getting the fallout from his interview. I talked about that briefly in my previous update, but Joe Biden did an interview on ABC News with George Stephanopoulos, where he tried to quell some of the concerns about his age and his mental acuity. Well, it doesn't seem to have worked. As you can see right here, unknown House Democrat representative, so we don't know who, someone called it an effing disaster. Then we started getting more calls for him to resign. Democratic Representative Andy Craig, a DCCC frontliner, called for Biden to withdraw. Pretty big. That was like the biggest, most important person for him to call for his resignation. Up until that point. Then we got another leak from the White House, something that's been very common recently as people sort of start to think maybe, maybe people in the White House don't like Joe Biden that much or don't want him to be president. A lot of leaks are coming out. One leak is that from the New York Post that said Biden's physician met with a Parkinson's disease specialist in the White House. This was a couple months ago, but it had been kept under wraps until now that it was finally leaked. Jake Sherman, founder of Punchbowl News, and a man who works with NBC and MSNBC, quoted the Andy Craig call for Biden to withdraw, and said, "If you think this is bad for Biden, wait until the House comes back next week," which happens tomorrow, which is part of the reason I'm trying to get this video out now, so that everyone can, come in and see it before I inevitably have to make another update with much more information tomorrow or on Tuesday. As I'm recording this, it's 11 p.m. on Sunday night. But I just had to do this right now because I came back to my setup and I saw so much news. Another call from Andy Craig to withdraw. A sort of side story to this whole thing is that more leaks started coming out that radio hosts that had interviewed Joe Biden had been given the questions that they were going to ask by staffers from the White House or by Biden aides. Right here, a second local radio host said they were given questions ahead of their Biden interview. Then another anonymous thing from the New York Times, a senior White House official, who, I don't know, senior official, said President Biden should not seek re-election. So it seems like the calls for him to not seek re-election are coming from pretty close to his own camp as well. Washington Post said some Biden convention delegates are having doubts. This is people that are going to officially put him up for the nomination are starting to think maybe it could be their civil duty to not do so. NBC News reported that, quote, more than half a dozen Democrats in Congress described President Biden's political situation in stark terms, including heartbroken, doomed, and an effing disaster. So that's a lot more right there. Then, another big thing. Republican GOP House representatives began saying that they were going to bring in Joe Biden's physician, Kevin O'Connor, for an interview in front of the GOP Oversight Committee to see if he's, sort of, what his deal is, if he's telling the truth, if he's not, just sort of, do some sort of interview. Would much come from this? Probably not, but I think it's worth mentioning as, it's just more pressure being put on the White House by Congress, which has been sort of a common theme here. Next up, Jerry Nadler, Mark Takano, Don Bayer, and Adam Smith. It was announced that they said that Biden should not seek re-election in a private leadership call. In my last update, I told you that today, on Sunday, Democrat House Leader Hakeem Jeffries was going to call a meeting with a bunch of House representatives and talk about Joe Biden. That seems to not only have happened, but there seems to be some news and some leaks coming from it. This from Benji Serlin. There's a plan circulating among Democrat donors to try and organize a blitz primary, a very quick primary, that could select a new candidate. Just interesting sort of thing. Then this. Senate Democrats Monday Biden re-election meeting called off. Some people took this as they know that Biden is going to run again, so it's not even worth the meeting. A lot of people, as you can see right here, are assuming it's just because of all the leaks that came out of the meeting today. It's kind of hard to say, but it's worth mentioning that the Senate meeting won't happen. Now, what I want to show you right here is something that I find to be very important. This is a map, a Senate map, and this is a House map of what the representatives are currently saying about Joe Biden. So, just to give you the quick key here, the 36, the likely category for the Democrats are people that have made no comment. Democrats that have made no comment. The dark blue are people that have officially said that Biden should stay in the race. The lighter blue here are people that have said they will leave it up to Biden. These four, the really light, tilt blue, is people who have, quote, said they have doubts, and the red are either Republicans or Democrats who have officially said that Biden should not run for re-election. So Biden has officially lost 2 senators from his own side, one from Virginia and one from West Virginia, and 4 that have publicly expressed doubts about Joe Biden. He's only been able to pull in 7 people so far that have said that officially support him for re-election. House, it's even more stark. He's only been able to pull in 13 people that have said he should officially run for re-election, while in reality he's probably lost closer to 30 people that have either said they'll leave it up to him or having doubts or have officially turned the other way. 231 for the red Republican side. Republicans only have just over 220 representatives in the House right now. So a lot of those, 10 of those are Democrats. He's lost, I believe, 9 Democrats officially in the House. So it's getting a little rough from his elected officials that are officially calling for his resignation. And then what I promised you at the beginning, a good recommendation if you want to go read more. This from Nate Silver, one of the leading election analysts in the scene. A great free article from his Substack, The Silver Bulletin, titled "Blaming the Media is What Got Democrats into This Mess." And he said he'd have usually held it for Monday morning, but as I was saying, the Biden crisis is evolving so unbelievably fast that there really can't be any waiting time. It kind of has to be done now. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to talk about polls. Tomorrow, realistically, I'll probably have 2 different videos up. 2 different videos, probably. Tomorrow, one going over whatever happens in the House, whoever calls for him to resign, and another going over polls. If something massive happens, who knows what I could do. But that's about all I have to say about this right now. I hope we get something big. It's all unfolding really fast, and I just hope, we can sort of get out of this mess as a country, but also, I gotta say I'm kind of enjoying the chaos a little bit. So I'll talk to you guys next time. Remember, on YouTube and on Twitch, I'll be multi-streaming to YouTube and Twitch the night of the 11th into the 12th, doing a listening party for the new Eminem album. But mostly I'll be focusing on politics in my actual videos that I post on YouTube. Same with the podcast, Jettcast, Jett, cast on Spotify, and New Robin Lol on Twitch, NEWROBINLOL, over there. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you guys on the flip side, I suppose. Whew. Lot going on, man, but I'm here. I got you guys with the news, and I'm sure the updates will only become more frequent and more important. See ya.